I think they really went for that soda.
What, are you crazy? They hated it. I was just humoring you.
Very. Believe me, that kid's going to be called Soda.
I can tell you, I would never name my child Soda.
Oh, no. No, of course not. I got a great name for our kids. A real original. You want to hear what it is? You ready?
Yeah? What is that, sign language?
7.
7 Costanza. You're serious?
Yeah. It's a beautiful name for a boy or a girl. Especially a girl or a boy.
I don't think so.
Well, you don't like the name?
It's not a name, it's a number.
I know. It's Mickey Mantle's number. So not only is it an all-around beautiful name, it is also a living tribute.
It's awful. I hate it.
Well, that's the name.
Oh, no, it is not. No child of mine is ever going to be named 7.
All right, let's just stay calm here. Don't get all crazy on me.
All right. It is the Malcolm Go podcast.
Feels good to be back.
It does. September 4th, 2019, and that was my favorite intro we've ever done.
That was good.
I don't know. I can't do it anymore. I can't sit down at work and be prepping for a podcast. I can't do it. I can't think of a song to start anymore. I'm just gonna do it by the on the wings of a prayer. Is that the?
I don't know, but it's the only thing our podcast is really known for.
Is that the song? I love the song you started with. That's all I ever get.
90% of the listeners make it to 48 seconds into the podcast.
Listen, I don't really care as long as they hit the numbers, baby. They just gotta download, unsubscribe, resubscribe. That's all I need. You guys got to keep hitting those numbers. Cane's Donuts and Kowloon expect us to be, at our peak, 50,000 downloads a week. If I don't get that, I don't get free sushi at the, what do they call it now? They got a sushi bar, but the Hong Kong bar, whatever the fuck it's called.
Oh, the Tiki Bar. Yeah.
Very nice. I love how Kowloon put a tiki bar and hid in the back just chain link fence
on the highway.
they just hung up little plastic banners they got from Big Party that you get for a 4-year-old's birthday party that's having a luau.
Most tiki bars you get a nice sea breeze. You get a nice sea breeze from an 18-wheeler rolling down the highway.
The smell of Hooters wings just floats over you. I haven't even been in there. I hear good things. I'm sure it's.
Tommy Flynn's playing music in there 3 to 4 times a week.
Oh, he's the big star over there.
He's
a big
real
star.
Hit. Yeah.
With his olive oil skin and his guinea charm.
That's when you know you made an entertainment when you're at the Kowloon.
If you're at the Kowloon, I bet you the Cougars is all over it. It must be eating him up. I mean, he's a good-looking kid to begin with.
I'm actually banned from the Kowloon comedy shows.
Really?
I'm not allowed through the door.
That's not great. That's not great for your career,
It's
be
not
honest.
ideal. I'm not sure what I did, but I was asked never to come back.
You do not want to fuck with them. They'll start cutting throats. What if they give you the Colombian necktie in the back?
Oh, yeah.
When they cut your throat and pull your tongue out through it. That's the Colombian necktie.
They have a nice little system of just, fucking shipping containers full of people just coming over to work on a weekly basis.
I don't know if we should be talking about this way about our sponsor, but I don't know if Bobby Wong or Andy Wong even talks or listens to it very much, but it's probably not great. But they used to have a White House that was, for you that know the North Shore and Boston area at all, Kowloon is directly on Route 1. It is by far the biggest restaurant in the North Shore, probably the entire surrounding area of Boston. I know it for a fact is the biggest Chinese restaurant in the world.
I've heard people call it a Chinese casino.
Something like that. I don't know. They have comedy. They have sushi. They have, it's the Saugus Bar. It's the place that you go the night before Thanksgiving. Sachems go. That's the spot. It's been there for a million years. It continues to grow. Food comes out in 8 seconds. But anyway, they used to have a White House in the middle of the parking lot. And the parking lot has never changed. It's just always been the size of, 50 football fields. And it's filled every night. And there used to be a White House in the middle. And it just, that every single person that works at Kowloon lived in that White House. And they went from Kowloon to White House to Kowloon. All you ever wanted to do was sneak in there as a kid and just see 75 Chinese men living in sleeping bags on the floor,
sleeping in dressers like Kramer's fucking.
Yeah, exactly like that. Oh, good night, Louis, and they just keep shutting them in drawers. Yeah, and then they just knocked it down unceremoniously like 2 years ago. It's just not there anymore. I feel like they did it overnight because I don't remember it ever coming down.
Yeah,
and they just
weird.
paved over it like it was never there.
Yeah,
with the bones of the 250,000 Asian waiters buried below.
Now white trash people drink in a parking lot and call it a patio.
That's exactly where it is. I forgot it is right there. They're getting their Pontiac Bonneville and drunk drive on south on the northbound.
Yeah. Thinking, I can't get a DUI. I can cut through the Bob's fucking parking lot, dude. You don't even have to get on the highway to get the fuck out of there.
This is uber local, but it's fucking, now it's an Ocean State job lot.
Oh, that's good.
Saugus is just so terrible. It's just going downhill in a fucking... I don't know. It's like it fucking going to hell in a handbasket, as they say. We used to have great Kowloon's. Fuck, they had Hilltop, like banner,
North
like
Shore
fucking
staples.
Tent pole businesses of like the surrounding Massachusetts area. Like, oh, you're from Saugus? Oh man, Hilltop, Kowloon. Now it's fucking Hooters, a Walmart, a fucking Ocean State job lot, a Square One Mall, which at a time was known for like fun and nice things. Now it's known for gang shootings and Brazilian outfit stores.
Yeah, it didn't even. There was a mass shooting at the Square One Mall. It didn't even make the news. 9 people got shot at that mall. They're like, all right. Well.
They have a sniper tower in it. Have you seen it? This isn't a lie. You can see it if you're going to work or like, I mean, if you drive on Route 1, it goes right past. It's right on Route 1, right across from the high school of all places, and it's the parking lot outside has just cars parked there, and dead center in the middle there's like I don't know. It looks like it's not built. It's like a piece of steel that looks like it erects like a scissor lift, and at the top is a podium with like security, and a guy patrols it like he's patrolling fucking Shawshank.
They knew what was going to happen when they built that mall. They were like, this thing's going to...
No, they had fucking higher hopes. I'm telling you right now. There's no way they went into it and thought...
Don't put a sniper posted on fucking mall parking lots. You know that thing's going to fall apart.
That just happened. It was like 3 years ago. It's like, what is that sniper post? Has anyone brought this up?
Yeah, it's it's over, but I'll tell you what's not over is this Patriots dynasty.
Oh, is this what this podcast is about? No, it's not. Heading into year 20. Heading into fucking year 20 of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. That is fucking wild. Unbelievable. I don't know what the longest tenured coach of all time is. I think Shula went for a while in Miami. Marv Levy was a coach in Buffalo forever, but 20 years. That's more than half my life. I'm 33 years young. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady have owned my favorite sporting team for 2/3 of my life. There's kids that are in college, second year in college. Think about that for a second. When I was a junior in high school, they won the Super Bowl. In 2001, first time. There are kids now that are sophomores in college going out for Thirsty Thursday, date raping AKOs and fucking having a blast. And they don't know anything other than Tom Brady has ever been the quarterback. And Bill Belichick has been the coach of the Patriots. And no other team. There's been one team here, one team there wins the Super Bowl. But it's just always the Patriots. It's big. Okay, that's football now. I'd have to think that if you weren't a Patriots fan, you're less of a sports fan or less of an NFL fan if you're that age. Like, it just makes no sense. That's like if you're a college football fan in the SEC and you're just like, oh, fucking Alabama. Like if you're 13 and you love LSU, it doesn't matter because it's never going to matter. As long as Nick Saban's there.
Yeah, Belichick is sixth longest tenure. No, that could be right. 24 years, but he did 20 years with the same team. So I wonder if these other teams. This is a very. We don't really do much research here.
No, there's very little. I have a torn out piece of paper which was not perforated. So it's basically cut into a polygon, and it's got 7 things scribbled on it, which I used with my son's terrible Five Nights of Freddy's marker that doesn't even write. This is not interesting. It just has nothing to do with anything. But this is the official podcast home of your 6-time Super Bowl champion New England Patriots. Brought to you by Cane's Donuts, now with a drive-through on Route 1 South in Saugus, Mass. Kowloon, of course, our biggest sponsor and Tyler's biggest detriment to becoming a successful comedian, is on Route 1 North in Saugus.
I actually need to plug. I I'm getting a wax. My back not wax, lasered.
Wow, that's big news.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's gonna cost a penny. I've seen your back.
Not if you bring it up on the podcast. That's what they told me.
That's true. We get a lot. That's it. That's called payola, folks, and it's not illegal in the podcast world.
Biggest. Who do you think are the biggest losses we had this
offseason? Let's talk about it. So the offseason storylines. Maybe we should start off with the biggest one because we said we were going to come back. We got all fired up. Had the season-ending podcast, which, by the way, 2 out of 3 years of Malcolm Go podcast. Well, all 3 we've been to the Super Bowl. 2 out of 3 we've won the Super Bowl. Malcolm Go podcast. Good luck for the New England Patriots and their chances. Believe that. It's true. Don't even think about it. It's true.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if we did Seattle, but no, I was in California.
No, I was at the Seattle game. That's a story for a different time. But, I mean, off-season storyline. The big guy retires. Hung him up.
Yeah. Honestly, he's not even the biggest loss I was thinking of, but yeah,
I mean,
clearly he kind of is.
You look at him now, and he's like, he says he's 245. He looks 230. And I mean, he's 6'6", so 245 on him looks like me weighing 120.
He's not coming back.
No, he's finished. The longer he's gone, he's fucking full on shilling CBD oil.
Oh, it's such a sham.
This is what I say, right? And I brought it up on Twitter, and the CBD army came out of the fucking woodwork. I said, well, look, I like Gronk, and maybe it works for him. He says he's healthy, and it helps. And then people swear by the bombs, and it helps. I don't know. I feel like that's all menthol. It's the same shit as Icy Hot, but just they say they put CBD oil in it, and everyone thinks that's the magic remedy.
I don't buy any of it.
I'm so wrong. Send some to the podcast or email me. We'll try it out, see if it works, and I'll give you a plug on the podcast. But listen, my brother swears by it.
Who?
Frankie.
Frankie's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's what I say.
So, all right, we're good. We're 1 for 1 on fucking idiots.
Number one, I've
Gronk
said it.
Gronk is a moron.
Gronk, he's not a smart guy, but I mean, he's a smart money man.
He had 2 of the best.
He knows it's hot right now.
He had the 2 biggest catches of the playoffs in separate games.
Won the Super Bowl.
And the AFC Championship game. The catch down the sideline.
That was fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't win the game, but it was a big catch.
But yeah, put him into overtime.
By the way, Eric Berry never signed again, did he?
I'm just thinking of
that. Nobody ever picked him up. He was one of the best safeties in the world like 3 years ago. Just doesn't play anymore.
He had that weird disease, right? Didn't he have
he had cancer. It's gone
disease.
now. It's weird, but it's not. I don't think it's forever.
Turns out caused by CBD oil.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. So
Gronk's now, he went from being the best player in the NFL to now giving people cancer.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we say. No, CBD oil, he's selling that now, and he's trying to get it unbanned for some reason it's banned by the NFL. I don't know why. It doesn't get you high. I've tried it. And I think that I fucked my brain up so much since being in 1999, being on antidepressants for my anxieties and just being overall nuts and just burning my brain with chemicals that maybe that's why it had no effect.
It is strange because I didn't really know you that well until the last 3 years. From the outside, you seem to have everything going on. You peel back a couple layers, things are falling apart here.
You can see the scratches from the inside of my bedroom on the door.
He's got a real nice house, got a nice wife.
Let's see.
He's got 2 kids. He had a dog that was a great dog.
Well, he died. That sent me into a spiral. I mean, let's just face it. These little things will trigger me.
Yeah.
Trigger's a new hot word. It's a hot word, and I'm going to start using it for my anxiety levels. What triggers me? So last summer was a bad summer for the kid, to be honest. But he came back strong.
Yeah.
Just kept pumping more fucking chemicals in me, baby. That's what I say when I go to the psychologist, whatever the fucking doctor he is. He doesn't just say anything. He says, "Do you need drugs?" Yes. No, it's not working. Okay, here's some other stuff to pump your body full of for months.
How many are you on?
2 currently. For the longest time, it was just Paxil. For years and years and years. That affected my...
I mean, honestly, if you're what is Paxil? You take it to quit smoking. I don't really know.
I
never heard of it.
You could literally... That could be the gay drug that they advertise at late-night TVs that doesn't give you AIDS.
I honestly have no clue. I never heard of it.
Never heard of that. The gay drug? It's called PrEP or whatever.
Oh, no, I heard of that. Sure, I'm on that shit.
Yeah, you need that.
Kidding me? No, I'm saying Paxil.
Paxil. It's just a very common antidepressant for anxiety. So, I started in when I was in 9th grade, I just thought my heart was stopping when I was in math. out of nowhere. Had nothing to do with anything. Probably old rape thoughts coming into my head, pedophilia and the like. So
Pleasant Street was a risky street in the early years.
Yeah, it was true. And then so I woke up, fucked up, and I went to the doctor. They're like, "You're not dying," and I was like, "Obviously, I am dying. Why would I be here?" And they're like, "Well, no, it's just anxiety." And I was like, "All right." So they started giving me medicine.
Your doctor called you a pussy. That's
No, my dad called me a pussy on the way to the hospital.
Yeah,
my
sure.
doctor didn't say anything. My mom, of course, felt bad.
Walked into work today.
I'm going to hear it tomorrow. When he's still bringing up that karate class I took in the 6th grade, calling me a pink belt for 2 decades. So anyway, he just pumped me with drugs, and then it was whatever I was on, Zoloft, and then after like 3 years, it wouldn't work anymore, and then the doctor would be like, "Here's Paxil," and that worked forever. And then then you have like sexual side effects, things like that, and then you don't feel like your 18-year-old self anymore. You get that steel beam in your pants anymore.
A lot of it sounds like you're just pushing the gay down.
Yeah. It feels like in my head too.
It's like a lot of this seems like if you just like maybe blew a guy once, you'd solve.
Once.
Can you shut the door? You don't want to hear this part. If you just blow a
She's
guy,
on board with it. So then anyway, and then my brother comes to me, says, "Why don't you try this CBD oil? It's good for anxiety. It's really expensive." I was like, "How expensive is it?" Like, I looked at it. It was like a vial. I thought it was. I was like, "I don't know. What's that? Like $11?" He was like, "It's $185." I was like, "For what? This thing that's unapproved by anybody?" And like people online with fake degrees from University of Phoenix are telling you that it curbs your anxiety and helps you lose weight. Literally, that's the number. Those are like the 3 things those are the 2 things that every medicine or new thing says. Oh, well, helps with anxiety, helps lose weight. They'll put that under anything, and it will just sell.
That doesn't mean anything. You know what? Your dumb brother fucking texted me, and he's like, "Hey, you want to run a half Ironman?" I was like, "What?" That
fucking slob has never done anything in his whole life athletic.
Dom. Half Ironman. Frankie texted me this because Dominic
is
currently running a marathon.
Oh my
god!
And
Frankie can't accept that his only life accomplishment so far is running a marathon.
My wife is gonna love that.
It's not that you run marathons. People in their 70s run marathons.
I've seen fat fucks run marathons.
People 320 pounds run marathons.
I couldn't do. I don't want to do it.
Girls run marathons. It's not an accomplishment.
No, listen, they can do it in under 12 hours. It's pretty goddamn good.
And so Dominic's running a marathon. And if you've seen Dominic, you'd be like, all right, well, anyone can. Yeah. And now Frankie's like, I need to do a half marathon.
Dominic can barely drive a marathon, and all of a sudden he's going to run one.
Let's not knock Dom's driving. Many a times has he taken me home at 4 o'clock in the morning, loaded up on Adderall from New York, and we get home fine every time.
That's good. Yeah. His eyes are at a pinpoint. He just can't see anything but 2 feet in front of him.
His knee is going 4 million miles an hour. His hands are shaking like involuntarily. But he can drive great. But no, he can't run.
No.
The rest of his physical attributes are horrendous.
They're for shit.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah. And then,
a decent
I love that. So yeah, they have, that's behind the scenes, and I don't think it's being talked about enough. Is Frankie decided, he was the athlete, or he was the good athlete in the family, right? He was good for his age, right? I was good at sports when I was a little bit older than people. When I could use my weight in dominance, especially when I got to be like 14 and I was bulked up like I was a little bulked up, probably weighed about 135, but I could bench like 180.
That's big for 14.
Yeah, and I would be throwing around fucking, little 85-pound twigs, getting layups all day, layups, and then wrestling and football and whatever. I was pretty good like that. But then when I had to play with like kids my own age, like high school football, I was just average at best. And Frankie was always good because he was tall and a little bit quicker. Dominic was shit at everything for the whole time he's been alive.
I'll tell you one thing he's good at.
What's that?
100-yard dashes. Oh, jeez. This is a big offseason update.
Oh, we forgot about that.
No, I didn't forget about anything.
That was St. Patrick's Day. We had we were bit in the bag, to be honest.
Sure. Everyone was a little hammered. And there was about a 2-hour debate on who could win a 100-yard dash between Dominic and Tony.
There literally was no thought in my mind that he would be within 40 yards of me. I was like, this kid, I first of all, at the time, I'm a little bit chubbier now, but at the time, I was probably a cool 205 pounds.
You just finished 2 months of keto.
Oh, a year of keto. I was like 205, maybe 206 pounds. Dominic was probably 215.
Oh, stop
but
it.
all of that
223.
220, but all fat, not a muscle amongst him.
No.
I was I was leaned out. I had nice muscles, biceps, fucking quads for days, squatting in your house, and I was like, this kid can't. He shut up. I don't care. He was just as drunk as me.
Dominic was shit faced.
He was shit talking me, and the football field is. I mean, you could throw a baseball to it from my house. So we were like, fuck it. It was like 11:30 at night. We walked over there, had about 8 of us, talking shit the whole way. I got there. Now, we were both wearing sneakers, so there was no competitive advantage. I wanted to wear my cleats, didn't. Maybe if I had my cleats on, I would have beat him by 50.
Wouldn't have helped.
No. So, anyway, I didn't slip. He didn't slip. But I swear to God, this fat bastard's stomach. I don't know. It was like he turned into Usain Bolt the second the gun went off. I said, this kid isn't gonna be close. It's gonna be a joke. I gave it 110% out of the gates. I looked up at the 20-yard marker. He was already on the other side of the 50. I was like, what happened?
Yeah, it was over 30 yards. You could call the race. It wasn't even close. It was a blowout.
And I didn't even quit. I was taught you don't quit. You run through the line. That's the high school football in me. I'm a football guy. So I ran through the line. I didn't quit. I didn't hold up. I lost by a good 40 yards at least.
Oh, it was real bad.
How do you get doubled up in a 100-yard dash?
I've never seen such a thing.
But
honestly, the amount of shit talk, and in my head too, I got a little confused. I thought you were going to win.
I did too.
There was so much shit talking, and Dom was so arrogant. I was like, well, this isn't going to work out. And sure enough.
I want to do it again. I'd like a nice rematch, maybe next St. Patrick's Day. But someone was up there. There's something odd was happening. I don't know. Maybe it was the drinks because I've timed myself in a 40-yard dash. I'm a 5.5 all day in the 40.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
No, trust me. That is a pretty good speed.
Was a 4.8 probably.
You think because you hear the 4s in the NFL and all this shit, and like NFL linemen run like 5, 5.1, 5.2. 5.5 is pretty goddamn fast for an average idiot.
I don't know.
That sits on his ass.
I ran a 5 flat in college, and that was slow.
Yeah, that's slow.
And Dominic's faster than me.
But you played football in college.
I was the only safety to run over 5. Only D-back to run over 5.
I mean,
I'm sure you get the right position? All right.
Well, what were we talking about? So CBD oil.
Flowers.
Well, let's talk about the CBD oil. I would send the CBD oil to me at malcolmgopodcast@gmail.com or Brady Disciple, Twitter, whatever. I'll try it. My brother, I'm telling you, gave me the $180 fucking vial. I'd put it in my tea, my water, whatever, just like they said, put it under my tongue. Nothing. No change to my body whatsoever.
I jerked off with it and I have a weird rash now.
Yeah, well.
Well, that's not going away either.
Shrink it.
Yeah, I really fucked up.
It became an innie. So we'll talk free agent losses. I mean, Trey Flowers, that's the big one. Trent Brown, another big one, but salvageable.
Not as big, I don't think. So for me, Trey Flowers, I put him my top 3 defensive linemen in Patriot history. Willie McGinnis, number 1.
Okay, but he's a hybrid. He's a linebacker, edge guy.
He's just number 1. Maybe it was because I was young when he was there. I think number 2, I put Seymour. And I think number 3 is Flowers for me.
You're going to put Flowers over Wilfork.
The only reason why you could give Wilfork, you might put Wilfork is because he was here longer. Flowers didn't sign his second deal with them. Yeah. But Flowers, that was the most dominant.
I feel like you gotta take into the fact that Vince Wilfork was the premier nose tackle in the NFL for a decade.
Yeah.
There was like him and Haloti Ngata were like the two. Like Ngata came in like 4 or 5 years later, a couple years later. But Wilfork was...
Which, that highlight was going around on Twitter this week when Ngata comes in, sacks, or he doesn't sack, he blows Brady up up the middle.
Yeah.
And Brady throws that like 60-yard pass
to Gronk.
And gets up and just is talking shit into
Suggs' face.
Yeah. After getting destroyed by Ngata.
He's the toughest motherfucker there ever was. I think I retweeted it and I was like, show me any other quarterback in the history of time that would stare down a 300-pound lineman with no blocker in front of him. That just free run to Tom Brady's rib cage. He stood in there, stepped into it, completed a pass to Gronk, got up, and was in Terrell Suggs' face.
Yeah, and that was pretty boy Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That was when he had the long hair, like
Bieber hair. Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
That was like,
But-
that was early Giselle days.
Yeah, it's 2010. That was fucking. He's Brady.
So obviously Trey Flowers is a tough loss. I mean, he was, I think I predicted there was no chance he was leaving. Maybe 0%. Maybe I gave him a 2% chance of leaving. I mean, I always thought he was going to get a big deal, but the Lions gave him a ridiculous deal. Like, I don't know. They're being run by expatriates, and they're not. Nobody ever adheres to the Patriots thing. The Patriots free agent. Basically, fucking sacraments. You know what I mean? That nobody ever is like, okay, let's just never sign a big free agent and then build our team with character types. And which with Trey Flowers, you get a character type, but you get now you've saddled your defense with a guy that's going to make $20 million a year for 5 years.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
It's fucking insane. I mean, whatever it is, it's like $16 million. It's still outrageous. Like it's one of the highest paid defensive linemen in the league. I mean, I thought if he was going to be like at 11 or 12, that he'd have been a Patriot, no problem.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I just said, I mean, I just don't get teams being run by expatriates like the Titans, the Lions, the Dolphins, signing gigantic free agents. Doesn't make any sense. Completely against the whole Patriot way, what everyone's built forever.
Flores was a huge loss.
Huge loss. Now, I don't know. I mean, the defense, it's been preseason, but like the starting defense looks remarkably better than it was last year. Like,
it looks like it did at the end of the year.
Yeah, like
because the end of the year defense was ridiculous.
They played one half terrible. That was it. They played against Kansas City. The second half against Kansas City was the only bad half they played in 6 halves. Yeah. And they dominated the other 5. And they didn't give up a point the whole preseason. And
so I don't know if they got. I don't think the Patriots got worse.
Nowhere. I mean, the only place that there's 2. Well, obviously at tight end they got worse. Okay, that's it. They got worse at tight end.
What about defensive end?
I don't think so. I don't know if they upgraded, but they think they're the same.
They're the same.
They brought in Bentley. I'm not Bentley. Bennett.
And their linebackers are remarkably better.
Yeah. Hightower lost weight. He looks faster. They bring in Winovich. They got,
Jaquan Bentley's back.
They got Bentley
He was
back.
going to be the starter last year. He was going to be the guy.
He was going to be the middle linebacker. They kept Roberts. Their front 7 is stacked. I mean,
Kyle Van Noy, and they got
Kyle Van Noy is probably he's on a level. He's on the trajectory of legendary Patriots signing reclamation project. You go Vrabel. I mean, you can go right down the line.
I'll tell you who he is to me is Ninkovich.
He's better than Ninkovich.
But Ninkovich was the guy who, like, if you were a Patriot, like, Ninkovich was awesome.
He was going to be on my list, like the guy, the reclamation guy.
I should have relaxed a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even let me get through. I got to one guy, and he was jumping in.
I got a little excited.
But he's on that tier, but other than Vrabel, he's going to be better than all of them. I mean, he's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, he was awesome last playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he dominated. He could have been defensive MVP of the playoffs. He dominated all 3 games, especially the Chiefs game. He dominated. I mean, like I said, Hightower lost weight. The secondary is the best in the league. I don't care what anyone. It's the best in the league.
Yeah, the McCourty twins are just. I mean, that was such a big pickup. Like Jason's just so solid.
It's so weird with him. Is like. He's good. He's so solid. He made the play of the Super Bowl, probably. Yeah. That break up again with Cooks in the end zone.
So I heard.
Yeah. I had to rewatch it a couple of days. I had a few cocktails, what of it. So anyway, it was like whatever. And they were like going to cut him. Remember like the last year we picked him up and he was playing till the seconds ran off in the 4th preseason game at safety. They're like, please, I like this guy. Like, help him. That's like what Belichick was saying. He was like, please, put him anywhere. Maybe he can make the team. And they let him make the team. And he did really, just average, decent player throughout the year. And then in the playoffs, he was good. And then in the Super Bowl, he makes the biggest fucking play of the game. It's just classic. You know,
It really is. I mean,
and then he gets a big deal this year. So like he's like a 2-year extension or something to come back. I didn't necessarily agree with it, but I get it. You know, I mean, I think he's good. Is he better than J.C. Jackson? No. J.C. Jackson, I think, is all pro written all over him.
I mean, Gilmore is creeping in on like Ty Law type level of.
He's played 2 seasons here, and they've been better than. They've been just as good, if not better than Ty Law was.
Well,
at any of them.
Well, last year I would say last year that season was just as good as Revis' season when he was here.
Yeah, easily. Last year was better than Revis' year.
Yeah, he was.
The year before that was probably just as good. And
in a league now where it's like impossible to play cornerback. Like there's not many great cornerbacks.
I don't know how they're teaching it now, but like it was so crazy that they went from. I don't know if you remember, but it was like, you know, 2000 the Ty Law
this guy
years.
acts like he was in Vietnam.
Yeah, you might not have been there, man, but I seen some shit. So it was the old 09, 010 years. So
He
it was
used to
like
run 3 tight end formations.
so you went like from Ty Law, then you went to transition to like Asante Samuel, and then they really.
Well, I always liked Asante. I thought he was always a great player.
Yeah, he was a good. I mean, he was a ball hawk.
Yeah, I would take that all day. Like, take the risk. Like, I don't know. I liked it.
And so if he didn't catch the one that mattered. So then he like transitioned to like these smaller guys in like 2009, 10, 11. Because I don't know. They think that like he was like too much with the defensive holding and the hand checking. That's what I get from analysis. So he drafted like Jonathan Wilhite, that other guy from Colorado. Wheatley, yeah, and they were going to start, and those were going to be the corners, and they were high picks, like second rounders, and they were terrible. They were both terrible. I don't know if it was defensive game planning or mismanagement of everything, but the secondary was horrendous for 4 years. You literally go to a game, and if the quarterback threw a pass, it was they were going to catch it.
I don't think they stopped someone on third down for 4 straight years.
No, it was terrible. It was terrible. Those years, it was the 2009 year, which is everybody calls the worst Patriots year of the dynasty. It was like the
Brady year.
It was the Brady. It was the year, the second year Brady's back.
When they got smoked by
when like
Baltimore.
everybody quit on the team, like Adalius Thomas, Randy Moss all showed up late. Then 2010, same year, this offense is getting better. Deion Branch comes in. They traded Moss. Secondary can't stop anybody. They get blown out in the playoffs with the Ravens. Or so maybe that was 2010, exactly. In 2010, they go and
They lost to Baltimore
in 2009. In 2010, they lost to the Jets.
Oh, with the man genius.
Yeah.
No, Rex Ryan.
With Rex Ryan, yeah. And then 2011, secondary still can't stop a nosebleed. They made it all the way to the Super Bowl. They had any semblance of a secondary that year, they would have easily. That's when they were misplaying Patrick Chung as a deep safety.
Yeah.
And he had no idea. He couldn't stop anybody. Everybody just got by him. And Mario Manningham, surprise, surprise, caught a deep pass over Patrick Chung. It just was 4 years of that. And then now the secondary has gotten so good that it's. I don't know. I don't even know if there's. People say the Bears. But I don't see that there's somebody even in the league with their secondary. I mean, think of the starting lineup of, if you're going in nickel, right? Stephon Gilmore. You got J.C. Jackson on the other side, or Jason McCourty, one of the two. Jason, I'd rather J.C. Jackson. I think he's just better. In the slot, Jonathan Jones, who's a stud. Deep safety, you got McCourty. And then Chung. That's the best.
Yeah. I mean, that's not bad.
That is, you have at least 3 Pro Bowlers. You could have 2 All-Pros right there.
Holy shit. I mean,
that's like Seahawks level secondary.
The Boom Squad, what were they?
And now you add
The Boom Boys?
You add Joanne Williams, who's fucking 6'5", a 6'5" corner.
I don't know who this is. He made the team?
He's the second-round pick. Of course he made the team.
Second-round pick? I thought he got cut.
Sometimes I question you. No, that was Duke Dawson from last year. They traded him.
Yeah, that punk.
Beer me. Beer me that CD.
Wait, who did they pick second round?
Joanne Williams.
Never heard of him. From where?
He's 6'5". Did you do your research at all this year?
I just did a fantasy draft and I looked at someone's team.
You can't draft a guy that plays cornerback.
Well, I looked at someone's team. I knew 2 players.
Yeah.
What do we say to like? Oh, who you guys taking first? I was like, oh, we have the first pick. We might end up with McAllister.
This isn't how you bartended at work, right? He just poured me a beer that was maybe 4 inches below a pint.
That is how I bartend after I don't get tipped after the first beer.
Yeah, that makes. So he's 6'4" and he's just a thumper. He's like a Brandon Browner type.
All right.
And he's big, huge.
Who's our D? Here's what I'm worried about. We obviously lost who we named the podcast after, Malcolm Brown.
Malcolm Butler.
No, Malcolm Brown.
We named him after Malcolm Brown. We did. He was okay. I mean, did you ever think like we fucking need Malcolm Brown today?
No, but I was never worried that like, oh, he's not gonna make 1.5 tackles this game. Like I knew he was making his 1.5.
Literally, him and Danny Shelton left, and I was like, oh, okay.
So who do they have up front? Like I don't know who the front line.
So they re-signed Shelton.
He's back.
He's back. So they re-signed Shelton.
He's still like 380 pounds.
Yeah, but he's been looking really good. I think they changed up his role where he's almost like more of a one-gap guy.
Okay.
And he's just blowing it up.
Lawrence Guy still on the
Lawrence
team?
Guy, the best one. He's the best guy there. They signed Mike Pennell from the Jets and then cut him. He was supposed to be like the Malcolm Brown substitute, but Danny Shelton outplayed him vastly.
Who?
And he never even re-signed.
Who do we have at D end?
So you've got obviously you've got Michael Bennett.
Winkovich.
You've got Winovich. You've got Dietrich Wise.
Dietrich Wise made the team again?
Yes, he's on the Jordan Richards role with a little bit more statistics. No, he's okay.
Rivers, he can't still be on
Derek
the team.
Rivers is on IR. He's out for the season again.
Thank God.
And they got Shalik Calhoun made the team. He's pretty good.
I don't know who that is either.
He's another one of the Belichick reclamation projects from the Raiders. He was like a 3rd-round pick from Michigan State a couple years ago. I wanted to draft him. And he didn't do much in Oakland, but he's good.
So, and that's pretty much the whole defense right there?
That's pretty much the whole defense. I mean, we went through them all. They're all I mean, literally the front seven is going to be blitzing up. If they stay the same they did last year and super aggressive, I mean, Belichick's running the defense.
They need to blitz again. That was so fun to watch last year.
Gerard Mayo is like, he knows the defense. I mean, now Steve Belichick's. It's like it's as God intended. It's all happening. Tom Brady's going to retire, and his son's going to be he'll be at Michigan. He'll be a senior at Michigan, and Josh McDaniels and Steve Belichick are going to take over the team, and Tom Brady's son is going to be quarterback, and Tom Brady will finally retire, and it will be seamless. It'll be a seamless transition to Super Bowl 12.
Judging by the way Brady's son kisses his father, he's going to be coordinating the chairs on the sideline.
I don't like that one bit. I don't like that talk one bit on this podcast.
What do we think? So are you worried about the offensive line? I mean, huge news last week.
So we lost. I mean, the biggest news to start the year was they lost left tackle, which everybody expected. I mean, he wasn't supposed to be that good, Trent Brown. I mean, I watched the Super Bowl.
Awesome.
I watched the Super Bowl, like the Sony Michel's touchdown, the only touchdown in the game, and literally he won the game by stiffening his left arm. If you watch it again, Devlin blows up the left tackle. I mean, he was like the outside linebacker, outside the left tackle, and Trent Brown has the defensive end in the hole, and he's got him, and the guy's about to make the tackle, and this is an NFL defensive end. I think it was Brockers, who was a good player. He was a 1st or 2nd round pick, and Sony Michel, like right when he gets to Trent Brown's heels, you just see him fucking bench press him with his left arm, and Sony Michel goes in untouched. I was like, that motherfucker just straightened his elbow and won the Super Bowl. It was unbelievable. He was just so good. I mean, much more athletic, I think, than anybody thought he was going to be.
Surprisingly, for 6'8" and 3,
5,000 pounds.
Yeah. He was a great addition
For nothing.
Well, for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, basically. They say that. I mean, it wasn't technically the trade, but that's basically what it was.
Because you have these relations, you have to have relationships with people, so it has to be like, hey,
I need to get.
I'm not going to fuck you over right after this is done, because Belichick's a guy who's going to be in the league forever. But
yeah,
do you know anything about the fact that a lot of people are saying that David Andrews had a lot of ties to Jeffrey Epstein, and that's where this blood clot came from? They're saying it's a CIA-induced blood clot because he has ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
What the fuck have you been on? What website has this been on?
I'm just saying.
I don't know. Why would they give him blood clots? I don't
I'm
even
surfing
understand.
my own internet. Is what I'm finding out.
I don't even understand this. Is this a joke? I don't get it.
I don't know.
All right. I don't know what that was, but I gotta find one of my things. I don't even. I'm listening and I still don't understand it.
The humanity.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Donnie, please.
Niggas is wildin'.
They work.
Whatever.
Yeah, but what about Andrews? I
So,
mean, obviously
that
he was lights out.
He was a rock for the last 3 years, and he gets a blood clot. Freak, whatever. It's not even an injury. It's just freak genetics, I guess.
Because it was weird. After they won the first Super Bowl, they had that guy who played center who was
Stork.
and he got that concussion,
And then they cut him.
and then he just disappeared.
He never played again.
Yeah, and then Andrews showed up the next year. We're like, oh, we had a rookie center, and then we got another rookie center, and he was as good, if not better.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
better,
David
actually.
Andrews was undrafted. I mean, he's just good.
Yeah,
And
not even big. He doesn't really have any definition on him.
no, he's flabby. He was at that Super Bowl parade. He had his shirt off,
Hmm.
fat and hanging out, drinking beers. That's what I like my linemen like, though.
Yeah.
I like them fat and drinking, like Matt Light.
He had that kid on his lap that he said it was his child. It wasn't even related to him.
I'm lost here.
You didn't hear about any of this.
What is that? What are we talking about?
I'm just saying.
What deep internet are you on?
Malcolm Go podcast getting woke
I
right now.
guess. Sounds woke. Anyway, so it's like
He's a fan.
Oh Jesus! I didn't even mean to.
See,
I didn't even
told
mean to.
ya.
I didn't even
You
mean
didn't press that
I
button.
didn't even mean to press that one.
That was the NSA sneaking in on us.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a tough one, dude. I mean, it's a fucking tough one. He's the quarterback of the offensive line. He told everybody where to go, and he knew what he was doing. And now they got the backup center. This is gonna be different, especially with like the new defensive lines in the AFC East. That the Bills drafted that Ed Oliver. That was like a stud in college. The
second
Jets,
best AFC East team.
the Bills.
Yeah,
I don't think
Bills
it's
aren't
close,
bad.
really.
Well, I think the Jets are going to be good.
I don't think the Jets are gonna be good.
I think Donald's going to have a good year.
Darnold, yeah, he'll be all right. He's pretty good, but I think that the Bills have the best defense out of the three by far, and I think that if Josh Allen isn't a bum, they'll be pretty good on offense. They have no wide receivers and really no running back.
They have a rookie
Their
running
offense
back
is
and
not great.
some bum. I mean,
Like
honestly,
their top wide receiver is John Brown, right?
yeah, the idiot from
He was like on Arizona, and then
yeah.
and then Baltimore, and then Miami is tanking,
Miami's in deep shit.
which
Who's
is
their
bullshit
quarterback?
because the quarterback,
Rosen. I actually
but they're
kinda
not
like
starting
that.
with Rosen though.
Who's starting?
Fitzpatrick.
Oh, I love it. I love
It's
Fitzmagic.
Fitzmagic,
He's
which
my
is perfect because you
favorite.
know the Patriots are going to lose in Miami to Fitzpatrick, and it's going to be classic because they're 100% going to lose that game. They're going to go down there. Flores is going to have the defense know exactly what's going to happen, and they're going to shut down the Patriots and win. It'll be 6-3. They'll lose on the road in Miami. It's like week 2. It'll be 1,000 degrees down there. Tom will be sweating, can't handle the heat. Sony Michel will be passed out. Everybody will be cramping up. It'll be just like Jacksonville last year, except for to a much worse team. And the Jets have the best roster probably of skill players and things like that. But am I afraid of any of them? No. I mean, do you think Adam Gase can out scheme Belichick in anything? The defense is too good, and Adam Gase is an offense only coach.
And the Patriots, I mean, and then the only thing we didn't talk about was the skill position, and they are loaded on offense.
Yeah, I mean, it helps now. I mean, you got a weak spot at tight end for 4 weeks. I mean, Benjamin Watson's going to give you, I mean, not 2017 Gronk, but he's going to give you 65% of 2018 Gronk, maybe 70%.
And I still feel like they're going to add someone with like
They have to.
a third or fourth round pick trade. Like
Dwayne Allen was cut like a week ago. He can come back. So Ben Watson's suspended for 4 weeks, but as far as any other tight end, they have none. Everybody, that's going to be a forgotten position. It's going to be the old 2001 to 2002 years, where it's just a chubby guy coming out of just blocking and then going out and catching a 3-yard out for a first down, like late in the third. You'd be like, who the fuck was that? I don't remember. I don't know who that guy was.
Yeah, I don't even know who the
Why
tight
is
ends
my
are.
mailman playing football?
Is he still here?
No, he's not on the team
How
anymore.
about Fitch?
It's 2 guys.
Abercrombie?
It's that guy Izzo, who's just a blocker, made 1 catch in the preseason, and I looked good, but I'd never seen him make a catch again. and Matt Lacoste, who's injured, but he's going to play on the team, and he's just a receiving tight end.
Well, they have. James White might catch 100 balls this year.
And we say that every year about him because he starts off catching 10 out of the backfield.
He had 85 last year. He was pretty close.
The thing about this team is that they have no tight ends that are really any good, especially for the first 4 weeks. The wide receivers are deep now. Josh Gordon returning. Demaryius Thomas playing. N'Keal Harry kind of hurts because he's going to be on IR till week 8.
But it's kind of fine because, like, especially with rookies in the system, it's like, all right, learn the
That's
playbook.
what hurts, though, is go off topic a little bit, but it's like I hate the idea. I just in my head, I'm predestined to automatically assume that a wide receiver draft pick is going to be a bust for the Patriots
Because we don't do it?
No, just because like it just happens. Like a high Patriots draft pick, wide receiver has panned out once once that I can think of.
Yeah.
Of course, Edelman was a slam dunk in like the 7th round.
Last year was a weird pick.
Branch was a hit.
I mean, you got to count Hernandez and Gronk kind of in that category.
Yeah, I mean Gronk's the best pick they've ever had besides Brady.
And Hernandez was my favorite Patriot of all time.
He still is my favorite, mostly for his extracurriculars.
But I think they're just, I don't know. I think they're just loaded on offense. I mean, the running backs, you still have Burkhead,
It's
Sony.
so deep. It's ridiculously deep.
They're just, and Devlin is going to be a machine. I fucking love
Devlin. They have 6 running backs or 5 run. So they have Sony Michel. It's going to be a stud. I mean, him last year, he played 16 full games. He had like, I forget what it was, like 1,200 yards, like fucking 12 touchdowns. He had the most touchdowns in the playoffs by like I think he broke the rookie record.
He got 3 in the first game, and then
He had 6 total.
yeah.
2 against Kansas City and 1 in the Super Bowl.
And he never broke the big run. He never made a big flashy play, but he rushed for 100 yards like 6 or 7 times last year.
Yeah, and he
guess.
was like he had like 95, 99, a couple. He's the one thing in his game was that he didn't make any plays in the passing game last year, but now he's been working on that. Apparently, he's gotten really good at that.
He was a beast at Georgia with that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to come around.
Yeah.
If you look at the Patriots' schedule, they could easily start out 7-1. I mean, we say this every year, but Pittsburgh at home, I don't see Pittsburgh being very good this year.
I think they'll be good. I think they'll be not better than last year, but they'll be just as good as they were last year.
Patriots at the Dolphins, home against the Jets, and at the Bills.
They
They
should
should
be
win
3 and
2
1.
out of 3.
They're going to win 3 and 1. They're going to go 3 and 1, and they're going to lose at Miami. I'm telling you.
I think they could lose at Buffalo, too. I don't really know. But they should go.
Eventually, they're going to lose at Buffalo because Buffalo's defense is good, and their offense will string together a game. I just think their coach is good. Their quarterback is not smart enough to beat the Patriots' defense yet.
No, Josh, no. He can just run, and he's kind of big. Then they're at the Redskins.
Domination.
Then they are home against the Giants.
50-point win.
At the Jets.
At the Jets, still
Yeah.
win.
And then they're home against the Browns. And then they're
Dominate.
on the road against the Ravens.
I mean, I could see them winning almost all of those. Maybe they lose one.
And then they have a bye week. So that gets them to the bye. That's
Doesn't
9 weeks. They
And
have
don't forget that they were terrible on the road last year. But I feel like that's like a major hammering point for the Patriots this year is that they have to be better on the road. Like they were 3-5 last year. If they lost that AFC Championship game, that's all anybody would have talked about the whole offseason. Is how
my
terrible
God.
they were on the road and how not mentally tough they were.
and how they weren't really that great of a team. and
Yeah,
all
it was.
that.
Yeah, exactly. That's all they would have talked about. But they went out. They won in overtime, so nobody thinks about it. But they
Yeah, they really struggled.
any
hard.
team that was any good last year, they lost to on the road. Besides the Chiefs, like before the postseason, they lost to them.
Yeah, they really did struggle really bad. I mean, they got smoked. That Detroit game is just so awful.
That was one of the worst games I've ever seen them play, and that's why they went and got fucking. I mean, no, that wasn't why they that was the week before. So Jacksonville, they got fucking demolished.
But Jacksonville, both those games are weird. Like, these are our Super Bowl games. Like, there doesn't seem like there's many teams that Pats are playing this year that they really want to smash the Patriots.
No, I mean we didn't break anybody's. I mean Kansas City would be the only one, and that's at home.
And that's at home in December. That's different football.
Yeah, and I just don't. I mean, I think Mahomes is good, but I don't think there's no way their offense can be as good as last year. They got a full year of fucking film on him. Belichick already gave him a blueprint on how to beat him. He did it in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, and they're at Philly, home against
they'll
Dallas.
probably lose that game.
And they are at Houston. That's a tough game.
Yeah, depends. I mean, their offensive line is horrendous, and Deshaun Watson's a wild card. He seems to get hurt a lot.
Then they finish it. They finish the year pretty decent. I mean, they go home against the Chiefs, at Cincinnati, home against the Bills, and home against the Dolphins. So again, they have the last 2 games of the year home.
Yeah.
Which, if they make the playoffs, get a bye and get home field advantage, they're home for like a month.
Yeah.
Which
I'd like to see him
always
go.
works out nicely. For them.
I'm predicting 12-4 with a high of 14-2. Margin of error of 1. Gimme. So say the worst they could do, I think, is 11-5. The best they could do, I would say, is 14-2.
I just think expectations aren't as high. Like,
I don't need. Yeah, no.
And so I think they're going to go. I think I have 13-3.
I've lost the point, and I said it. I think after last year, I was like, I can't care anymore. It's just it used to be like, oh, they got to get the first round bye. They have to be the best team in the league. I need to see them win the division. I need them to see them win the AFC Championship. I saw them suck so many times last year. I was like, this is not even the team I like. This is not the football they play, and then they won the Super Bowl anyway. It just doesn't matter. It was like the ending is all that matters.
The only thing that matters is the bye, because then you get one home game and a bye.
Then you're in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, and then anyone can win that. So if you just get that bye, you're fine.
They'll never. I don't know. They've been in the AFC Championship game 9 years in a row, which is absurd, and so it's been 10 years since they've, I think, lost in the playoffs, right? It's been 10 years since they lost not in the playoffs, but 10 years since they lost before the divisional game.
Yeah, it was that Baltimore game.
Baltimore game. So they haven't. That's the last time they lost, and now it's just like that doesn't. And that was at home, and those 2 years at home, those are only 2 home playoff games they've lost, right? Oh no, they lost an AFC Championship game too once to the Ravens. I don't know. It just feels like if you're at home in the divisional, you're going to the AFC Championship game. Like even before you get there, you're like, we're just gonna go to the AFC Championship game, and winner take all. Basically, that's the only thing. So it's like if you get the number 1 seed, it just feels like you're going to the Super Bowl with this team all the time.
Yeah. It's really tough to come into New England and beat them before. Jacksonville came real close, but they.
And I even said this last year when we were talking about like the Chargers. This is just the allure of Foxborough, and it's probably like what it was like from when I was a kid. Anyway, was like Dallas or like going to like any team, or like going to like Yankee Stadium in October or something crazy like that, where teams are just known for winning all the time. And I'm sure it wasn't like 2001 and 2004 for the Patriots going to Pittsburgh for the AFC Championship game. It's just, but they didn't feel it. It's like teams when they see fucking Gillette Stadium. And especially all these kids that are playing in the NFL now, their whole lives have been the Patriots are in the AFC Championship game or in the Super Bowl or always in the playoffs, right? So they go and they see it in the fucking fog. It just like opens up. You're on the shitty road, and all of a sudden you're just at a football stadium, and it's 1 million people there, and they all hate your guts, and it just you play shittier. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a quiet year for Patriot offseason hate.
I don't think it ever dies
compared
down.
to years past.
Like, a lot of more people are coming around to like, I can't do it anymore.
You just can't. You give up. There's some guy who puts out stats on Twitter almost every day. It's like the stat of the day. Patriots stat of the day.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, with the badge, like the sheriff's badge.
It's like today was like most touchdown passes by a quarterback in the playoffs of all time.
Yeah.
It was like Brady, Rodgers, one other guy, and then Brady on second downs.
Yeah.
Only. It's like that's how much better they are than all these. Like the stats don't even make sense anymore. You can't even look at them and really
compare them to anyone. The team, like Tom Brady's postseason stats are utterly insane. They're not even head and shoulders. They're like bodies higher than other people. And he has more touchdowns. He's doubled the amount. I think he's doubled the second amount of touchdowns passes in the. I think Peyton Manning was second. I think he's doubled him.
So will Brady have a chance? Will Brady and Breeze both pass Manning this year and all-time leading touchdown passes?
Total passes? Yeah, they should. I think so. Yeah, they should.
Because Brady has the
Breeze
record
will.
if you
I think
include
Brady's
the
like one or
playoffs,
two
right?
behind him. Brady has the most if you include the playoffs. Yeah.
Which is insane that they don't.
I know. It really is
Like,
crazy.
what are we talking about? We're talking about the most touchdown passes of all time. Yeah, sorry he's done them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But those don't count.
Yeah.
So why would we?
I don't know. I guess that's what the same. Who knows? It's the same. They don't count home runs too. So fuck, it's the same shit.
They don't count playoff home runs?
No,
I would have never known that.
it's bullshit. It's like I don't know. Barry Bonds didn't make the playoffs a ton of times, but like I'm sure he probably hit 50 in the playoffs.
Well, he won a couple times.
I guess maybe that might change because maybe they do that because the playoffs were different and the seasons were shorter. I don't know, in the NFL and especially in baseball. Like the baseball, if you won the league, then you were in the World Series. There weren't any playoffs.
Yeah.
When like Babe Ruth played. Now there's fucking 2 months of playoff baseball. You know what I mean? Maybe
We're
that's
not
their
going to talk
thinking.
about baseball.
No, I don't want to. I haven't even watched the Red Sox this year. I hate them.
Yeah.
I just hate the owner so much that I like find it hard to watch them now.
That's fair.
So anyway, we forgot we talked about Flash Gordon being back.
Oh, that is great.
Are you jacked about that?
I'm
Do you think he's going to make it?
Yeah, I actually do think he's gonna make it. But if you like, people are like, "Oh, do you want to bring him back?" He's probably only gonna play 6 games. It's like, well, that's 6 games with him, then 6 games without him.
Yeah, but then he fucking leave. I don't know. Then I've never had an issue with him, but like he became the guy. He was like the Moss at the later years. You know what I mean? Later years Moss, like 2009 Moss, where he's still good. He's still great actually, but he just he takes it 100%, but Brady just dials into him. You know what I mean? And that's the only especially in a bad game.
But that was when Gronk was hurt. Edelman was.
I don't remember what was wrong with Edelman.
I don't know. I feel like maybe he missed a couple. But Gronk was hurt, and the offense was bad.
Yeah,
like the offense couldn't do anything, and then he showed up, and it was the only guy he could throw to.
Yeah, exactly. And then in the end of the year, his last game was against Pittsburgh, the game that they lost, and I don't think he had a catch. They just didn't throw to him because I don't know if he was open or what. I don't remember what happened, but he just wasn't part of the offense at all.
I forgot they lost to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it was annoying.
Who else did they lose to? They lost to Pittsburgh. They lost 5 games last year.
All on the road. They lost
Pittsburgh, Detroit,
Miami Miracle, which was horrendous.
Oh, I forgot about that game too.
Yeah. So Jacksonville, Detroit, Miami,
Pittsburgh,
and
not the Jets,
not the Bills.
Fuck.
Why can't I think of it? Had to be an NFC team, right? Not They beat the Bears on the road. They beat the Packers at home. They lost the Lions. Who else did they fucking play?
Minnesota at home. They beat
Minnesota. Who did they play last year? Why can't I think of it?
I don't know. We're really short.
Oh, Titans.
Oh yeah, they got smashed by Indy.
Yeah,
I mean, the Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah. So fucking 5 teams they could have beat easily. Should have beat. But we'll see how they turn it around this year. That's the big thing. I'm thinking 12-4, 13-3. We'll see what it's like with Gronk out. I mean, like we said, he's not coming back.
No,
he's finished, and I'm glad. You know what? The way he's been crying on TV, he just needs a break from sports. Just let him be himself, and maybe he comes back next year like Jason Witten did or something.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still 30.
I'll tell you this: I am the Jaguars whisperer, and last year I predicted them 6-10. I think they might have went 5-11. They were bad. And I drilled it. And this year, I have predicted at 12-4, getting a bye.
Yeah, I can see that with Foles.
And Leonard Fournette, who lost 20 pounds. That defense is still there. They lost a couple guys, but they're pretty much all still there.
Yeah.
And I don't see the Chiefs being as good as they were last year.
No, I don't think the Chiefs will be as good as they were last year.
It's too tough to do that 2 years in a row. You really can't.
That was that's when you're taken by storm with a guy that's been in your system and was good, and then took over and did this offense that nobody had seen. And like I said, Belichick gave him the blueprint how to beat it. And I hate saying the blueprint because that's classic Patriots talk, but that's basically what it is. I mean, you saw how he beat them. You fucking man covered their guys and just dominated them up front.
Didn't let them run side to side like with the run game. I could see the same thing happen. Yeah, I mean the Rams had the same offense and they just shut it down.
The Rams, I mean, that was just terrible coaching. They like played zone the whole game, and the Rams just never changed their offense whatsoever. They had one game plan. That was like, this is going to work, and never changed it.
And it worked. I mean, the worst game of the year last year was St. Louis. Where are they now? L.A.
Yeah.
The Rams in Kansas City. It was like 58-74.
Yeah.
Some bullshit.
Especially the
like
NFL
that.
loved it though.
And the NFL jerked off to it for 2 weeks. I know Stephen A. literally had a comeback right on his little suit there.
Those teams are the best teams, and then the fucking Rams couldn't even get into the red zone in the Super Bowl. Defense still rules in the playoffs, my friend. So we'll see. I'm gonna miss the big fella. We'll see what happens. I mean, one thing I do want to say to the Malcolm Go podcast listeners, though, is, and I've cautioned it, and I've said it to my friends in my personal life. I tell my son every night before bed, I say, son, it's very important that you do not expect the next tight end in New England to be exactly like Rob Gronkowski, because that's what's going to happen. WEI 98.5 The Sports Hub. Everyone's going to say, the tight ends suck, Mike. They suck. They're going to be saying that all day. And they're going to be saying, the tight ends are no good. Why can't he run the seam? Why doesn't he run 4-5? Why can't he catch 12 touchdowns? Because that guy doesn't exist. There's been one ever that could do that. It's not going to be the same. You got to just temper your expectations for the whole position for, 3 years. I'm glad. I, for one, I was going into the draft. I was like, they got to draft a tight end. And then when they didn't, I was pumped. You know why? That guy, the next guy will have one less year of expectations. He'll come in and they'll be like, oh, we got a new tight end. Everyone will forget because they had already played a year without a tight end. They'll have a nice new young guy. He can come in, see what happens. See, it's
my
not
prediction. James Devlin, 22 catches, 300 yards.
300
yards.
What's that per reception?
I don't know, but Devlin's going to take over. Devlin is going to be a machine. He's just going to do it all. That's what the secret weapon is. He's going to say, Gronk. We have this guy Devlin in the backfield. We're in 46.
Legend with a neck roll.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Because I know it's going to be even worse when Brady retires, but we'll start here. This would be our first, home run Hall of Fame player. First ballot that's retired from the Patriots. We'll see how everybody reacts because it's going to be triple when the Patriots have to go to a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Eventually.
So, and you guys see, week 3, actually, Gronk is going to be our guest for the pod.
He's going to be with CBD Med. We're going to be doing the bombs.
That's why we're not releasing this episode. Everything we did earlier when we trashed him for his new awful business idea. Yeah. We're not going to talk. We're not going to allow this to get out there. So
what was the stuff Barry Bonds did? Was the what was it in the clear? What was it? It was something in the clear. The coat in the clear, something in the clear. I can't remember what it was. The bomb in the clear. Somebody's yelling through the fucking radio right now. Whatever. That's what I want to do with Gronk. So, what do you get your prediction this week? Banner night. I'm bringing the 6 banner back home to the basement.
With the Steelers, huh? I don't know. They never score a lot in the first. 25-17.
I think the Patriots defense is going to show up big time. I mean, they have Juju and then nobody else. And then they have James Conner, a decent tight end, a pretty good running back, a good offensive line. So it's going to be low scoring. I don't think they're going to be able to throw at all against this team. So I'm going to say the Patriots are going to score 24. Pittsburgh is going to score 14. And that's going to be a late score. I think it's going to be 24. I think it's going to be 24-7 with minutes to go.
Wow, game in hand. I like it.
Game in hand. I mean, banner night. I don't know who's performing. I hope it's Meek Mill because I've been saying Meek Mill is a Patriots champion. I want them to play Dreams and Nightmares. We're taking that song back. That's our song now. That was a song that the Philadelphia Eagles came out to and were pumped about for 2 weeks.
You know who's going to perform?
Who?
The Gay Cowboy.
Who's that guy? Is that the guy with the...
Take my time to the old town road.
Lil Nas X?
Yeah.
I don't want that.
You know, so when he came out as gay, first of all, I'm friends with a lot of gay people now at work.
Oh, lucky
and
you.
You know all the stories. I was like, oh, I think this guy's gay. And they go, Yeah, he was the head of Cardi B's fan club. He started Cardi B's fan club. Obviously, he's gay. Everyone who's gay knew that the whole time. No, who else is gay? Bradley Cooper.
Language.
Bradley Cooper's the gayest guy of all time.
Language.
You know how everyone thought he was hooking up with Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
No.
He was with Arena Shake for like 2 years, and he had fucking a baby with her.
No straight guy bangs a model that hot. Yeah. What are you going to do to her? You gonna pull her hair? She's going to be like, please, stop it. Get off me. No, that girl is... That was the biggest. What do they call that? A glove or whatever?
A beard.
A beard. That's what she was.
A
She
glove.
was a glove. but Bradley Cooper's gay, and that's why Lady Gaga and they got so close because he came out to her, and now he's just gaying it up. And all the gay guys I brought this up to knew.
Who's bringing this up? You are on deep internet.
How did you not know Bradley Cooper's gay? It's the most obvious gay call.
I hate that call, number one.
The only problem
from the
with
start,
gay guys,
from the get-go.
with gay guys is you could be like, George Bush is gay. They'd be like, yeah, obviously George Bush is gay. Everyone knew he was gay. Like, no matter who you bring up, they're all like, they think
everybody's gay. Everybody's gay.
But Bradley Cooper's definitely gay.
It's bullshit. No, it isn't. Listen, I've seen A Star Is Born. I had a moment with A Star Is Born.
That movie stunk.
You stink. You will not besmirch its good name in this radio.
The only good part was when the dog died. Or when he called her ugly in the bathtub.
Dog didn't die.
Oh, he died.
Yeah. Complete opposite. He fed the dog a nice steak, and then he killed himself. Spoiler alert.
No, when he called her ugly in the bathtub, I was like, all right, finally, that's a real alcoholic. Yeah. Everything else before that was not. It was horseshit.
I love that movie. I became a little monster after that movie.
After
I was
what?
all over.
She was the only straight person allowed to sing in the trainee bar because why? Because she pats herself on the back. That's why. Oh, I love the gay community, blah, 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 and they love me, so they let me into their community. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't let you sing, you fucking pompous bitch. And they probably put that in the movie because Lady Gaga was like, I need trannies in the movie. And they're like, oh, we'll put them in the movie. That was horseshit. And then she punches a cop in the face, and they're like trying to hold her back in the bar, the cop bar.
I don't remember.
Remember that? Yeah, exactly. Because the whole lead up.
Were you taking notes?
You watched the movie. It was garbage. Up until the end, and then the end was really good. But the whole first half of the movie, you couldn't even watch it. It was fucking...
I loved every second of it.
When
I was watching it, dude, the last scene, when she sings the saddest song ever written.
Well, that was really good. But you're such a...
I'm a little monster. I can't help it anymore.
These antidepressants are really fucking you up.
Trust me. I felt anything but a cloud. I was waterworks at the end there. When Allie was singing to the crowd, waterworks.
All right, that's
like a girl. I was like a girl. I was watching it with my wife. We were like, let's watch this together. And then we enjoy. Everybody's liking the music, and everyone's having a good time. And then it gets to the end.
Who was having a good time?
My face is just a babbling brook, and I look over to my wife. She's just staring at me, and she's just dry as a bone. Not a tear amongst her face. And I was like, what's happening here?
Wait till I go talk to her about this movie. She couldn't agree more on this. That movie stunk.
She liked it. She liked it. Everybody likes it. Everybody likes Lady Gaga, and Bradley Cooper is not gay. This is the end of the podcast, and this will never return.
The Who's Gay segment on the Malcolm Gunn podcast.
Oh, boy. All right. We'll see you next week. Go, Pats, go.
Do your job. All right, don't try to make too much out of it. Just do your job. 7-8 months ago, right? All for this moment. It's about honor. It's about respect. We win this game, you're honored. Your kids are honored. Your families are honored. We are three.
Stack receivers, two to the right. Russell Wilson extends the hands he has. Wilson, quick throw. And it's intercepted. Intercepted to Malcolm Butler. Butler has it at the one. Malcolm Butler stepping.
And Warner goes back to throw, and here's the blitz by Mike Vrabel. The pass is intercepted. They got it on Taiwan. 30, 25, 20, 15, touchdown. Taiwan picks it up and takes it to the house. For Adam Vinatieri, 48-yard field goal attempt. Set to go. Snap, ball down. Kick up. Kick is on the way, and it is good. It's good. It's good. Adam Vinatieri booms a 48-yard field goal, and the game is over. And the Patriots are Super Bowl champions. The Patriots are Super Bowl champions. The best team in the
Hey! Did it!
I love you, man.
Did it, bro. I love you. I love you. You worked your ass off.
You're the greatest quarterback in the world, man.
Hey, I love you, man.